Hey everybody, Ben here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up for yourself each and every day. I'm going to get into an emotion here that we were experiencing, dealing with, less than uh, experience, and we want to get out of it. Where do we have to look? What do we have to do? We got three cards here, which got this one the other day. We got lazy, demanding, and manipulated. So are we experiencing this in another individual? Or are we, okay, it's immediately giving uh, probably in a toxic relationship and we don't want to get out of it. We're looking at lazy. It doesn't have to just be laying on the couch. You can look at this as inaction. We're not taking action on anything. We're clearly dealing with someone that uh, is demanding something of us and it's manipulated. I mean, manipulating us in a way that maybe we're falling for it. Maybe there's a wound naturally. There has to be a wound somewhere in there that uh, it's played upon. That's why we would stay. Or maybe we're staying out of a wound. Like, let's say we don't feel uh, strong enough to, uh, we'll just use a romantic relationship, for example. We're in a relationship and uh, we have a bit of a codependency. Even if it's toxic, it's someone there who makes us feel comfortable, even though things that might be taking place are very destructive and hurtful, whether physically or on our emotional sense. And maybe this manipulation, maybe we voice that we want to leave, that this person is bad, uh, not such a great person. And they twist it in a way to say, no, you're all the problem. Let me project my internal onto you and show you how you're not good enough. Could also just be that you won't be able to survive. You'll never be able to get anything better than me. You know, all these uh, projections, whether the other individual is their internal feelings of themselves, they're projecting onto you, which is normally how that takes place. But it can also be instilling limiting beliefs onto you to make you feel less than. And that keeps us in a place of this isn't the best word to describe it, but uh, we're we're settling. We are accepting the circumstances. We are starting to identify with the projections, uh, demanding that you believe us, that you are wrong. What's that called? I think it's gaslighting. Uh, that's not how it went. You're out of your mind. You know, you need to believe what I am telling you, whether it's true or not. We really look at the opposites here. Manipulated. It's the truth. Where is the truth found? Well, maybe we're so fucked in the mind at this point from everything that's been projected or coming onto us that we don't know what's up and what's down. And that's very valid. That's an experience that can be had. Demanding, accepting, accepting the truth, and then the opposite of lazy is progress. So, uh, granted, I don't really say, hey, it's great to stay in toxic environments, whether work, family, friends, or romantic relationships, even platonic friends. I don't know if I said that. Oh, there's a there's a reason that we're staying. There's a reason that we're staying, and is it, we can just look at family in general. We'll hang on to that because, oh, they're your family. We've grown up together. You raised us, uh, but maybe there was this subtle hidden abuse in mental games or using of some sort. They know your weaknesses. They know your wounds. They probably created them a bit. Maybe they created them all, and they know them, so now they can use them against you. This is where this manipulated comes in. and they can be very demanding. Not just the people, but the wounds. Our wounds are very demanding because we want them to stop hurting. They are a big leader and guider in our experience, and we want to shut that down. So how do we, let's just use guilt, being guilted into doing something. How do we shut that down? Well, we satisfy whoever's guilting us or the situation. You know, it's very demanding on us or taxing. Uh, if the individual is projecting that you are less than, you can't accomplish anything alone, you must stay here to feel safe, we start to identify with that. And then we become it, and then we stay in this toxic environment. Or is that like a trauma bond of some sort? You need me to exist. When really it's probably reversed. They need you. You are a supply of some sort. And if you are here in my space, I can project all of my impurities or my insecurities onto you rather than dealing with them myself. And then it knocks you down, and then I rise while you plummet. Uh, we have to also kind of take ownership at times, say it's a dependency issue. And it's not so much uh, a blame on us here. We have to remember that I'm pretty sure everybody experiences some type of dependency issue. Granted, we are born and incapable of taking care of ourselves. So we need someone to feed us and bathe us and clean us and keep us warm. Like, we are born that way. So, we can't just all run and say we don't have any type of dependency issue. Like, naturally we would. And depending on how that spun out and may have turned into something more uh, experienced, that we grab a hold of more, I should say. How that reflects is that in family, is that in a friend group, is that in a romantic relationship. How are we dependent on that for some type of security to make us feel safe, comfortable, someone to talk to? We're humans. We like to interact. This is can ripple. And yes, we started as the child that needed tended to and cared for, but how did it manifest into the now, our experience? And if we're staying for those reasons, it's something to view. It's accepting the truth. If we are in that place, but also if we've been dumped on so much, uh, violently, the word came through, and I don't mean it could be physical, but the way I'm seeing it is verbally. And if the individual is projecting out and we're taking ownership of that, or our mind is too far gone now that the gaslighting, we don't know what's up or down. It is we're taking ownership of that, and we are stuck in a place of experiencing this, existing in it. The truth really has to come obviously from inside, and we can just start with, do I want to live this way anymore? Do I want to experience this? Do I want to feel this way when I'm experiencing this from this individual, whether work or a friend, also a family member, or a romantic partner? And if I don't want to feel that way, well, then that's the first truth. That's enough. That's enough to make movement, to make progress. The next one is, if I need to know more, if I need to have more reasoning for it to be valid in my mind, well, we really have to get into self then. And we need to figure out who you are. Maybe we don't know anymore. Maybe we're, like I said, too far gone that we don't know what's up or down. That is clearly a very toxic experience, but also a rebuilding experience. And really seeing it for what it is. If things are projected onto us, whether from the individual onto, their insecurities or view of themselves onto you, and we can see that, we can experience that enough, well, that's enough of a truth. That's not me. That's not what happened. That's not what I did. That's not how it went. Okay, well, that's enough of a truth. We don't need to know any more proof. We didn't need to know any more proof in the beginning. We already knew that we didn't want this anymore. if we want to dissect it that way. Now let's say we're changing stories that this happened or you did this and you really didn't do that or whatever, but you can't get it through to them. Well, that's another truth. There's so many truths. We have to accept. I don't know if I already said it, but it's like a trauma bond type of deal. But that bond uh, doesn't always have to be with the person or the abuser, or however we want to title it. It can be with the wound that we have. And if we want to dig deeper, obviously that's the end all, healing experience. But we'd have to remove ourselves. But when we finally see that wound for what it is, uh, we can correct it. The Hermit reversed, isolation. We're finding ourselves naturally in a place of this, uh, pulling away, uh, we're really beaten up emotionally, and rightfully so for what has been taking place, however long, whether all of our life or throughout life or just in this experience right now. And uh, we can also be isolated from ourself because of all the projections or the manipulation or the demands. And we don't know, but we have to pull back to say, hey, whatever's going on, this isn't right. I don't feel okay. This isn't benefiting me. Maybe we viewed it back to that lazy of, I'm getting something out of this and I'm settling for that, while I'm at the mercy of the other, the other half is technically doing more damage than good than whatever we think we're getting in this. Ten of Wands reversed, released burdens, getting to the end of this. Oh, like I said, if we carried this all of our life, it's all we know, and that's a deep-seated wound, and it's very difficult to get out of those places because we don't know anything else. This is just how I experienced it, and this is how it is. This is what love feels like. This is what my partners do. This is how I experience my family or my friends. You know, uh, I don't know anything else. So, what does it look like? What does it feel like? What am I supposed to experience? Well, we're clearly coming to a place that I deserve better. I need better. And I'm going to accept the truth and make some sort of progress. And we try to put duct tape on it or make it work when we already know there's this uh, connection there, and depending on what it is, family, friends, or what's it called, romantic partners, we're going to have a connection there. Naturally, there's a love. Whether it's not a good love or not, we are connected. And letting go of that is very difficult. Eight of Wands. There's a word progress again. Making progress. Just starting right here. And we don't have to know everything that took place. We don't have to dissect it so much to make it valid in our mind. If it's not supporting you, if it's hurting you, whatever it is, internally or externally, we accept that truth and we make a move on it. The Emperor reversed, chaos. Very simply, the individual is in a place of this. Sadly, it's like a very ego-driven place, and I think of like workplaces a lot when it's easier to explain because we're not emotionally attached to the individuals that way so much. And it is, there's a lot of this, I have to be in charge energy. I have to be number one. And they need this sense of control, and they're the ones that'll smash everybody on the way up. And then when they get there, they don't have any friends. And that's easy to see in the workplace. And now when we try to put it in a family experience or a friend or even a romantic partner, it's different because it's not your boss or your manager or your coworker. It is someone you have relations with. Maybe somebody we grew up with. All of our experience in this respect isn't uh, dictated by a parental figure or an older sibling or their image of success. Romantic partners, same way. We are sharing intimacy, and we have this feeling inside of us that connects us to them, and we may not be able to see it that way. That there is this different style of hierarchy established in a relationship, or who provides what, and you owe me, keeping score. Uh, what I say goes. There's still that fuel in those types of individuals that needs this type of power because there's nothing inside. And I don't mean that as in their coldest soul ever. At times we do see individuals like that. But what I'm getting at is they have no security in here. And whatever's going on here is chaos. It is uh, a bad space of self-reflection, and we have to throw that all out there because we don't want to deal with it because it's so fucking ugly. So instead, I'll put it on you or this person or that person versus being viewing how I feel in here. And uh, maybe we get into a place that says, well, I'll help them, or I'll help them fix themselves, or I'll be their shoulder to cry on, or whatever it may be, when relationships only work if both individuals grow together. Otherwise, one's going to hold them back. You could look at this as the ladder analogy. If you're here and they're down here, they can't come up. They would have to change. They would have to make effort to come up, but they can drag you down. And to be with them, they have to. And when they go down again, you have to come down, and they will continuously drag you down. Uh, Maybe they want to take you further down than them, so they are above you. But if you're up here, they have to come up, which means they have to change something. They have to make action to grow, to view themselves, and they're probably not, which means for you to continuously move up, you must remove yourself. Otherwise, we go down and down with them. Eight of Pentacles. Diligence. This is taking priority of yourself and working towards that. Just right back to the ladder. Feel it. You can see it. I know you can. If they're down here, they're not coming up. They might act like they are, but do they? Do they actually come up? Or is it just breadcrumbs? And then they're right back down here. You will be drugged down until you are so low, and that might be where we're at. You have to choose yourself at this point and remove the physical matter, the money, anything that's involved that way. And we have to remove the external view of us. If this person is how it came through, they're gonna be the victim, and they're gonna say everything in the book to make you a horrible monster, and you're gonna have to be okay with that, and that's not okay. But it's engagement, and it's just gonna pull you back to try to validate yourself. You've probably tried to validate yourself plenty of times in this relationship, and you can't, because they know the fucking game, and they play on the wounds. And when they play on the wounds, we try to make them go away. And how do we do that? We give them what they want, because otherwise they'll keep sticking a knife in the wound. You have to choose yourself, and you have to be okay with that. And you have to be okay with the external of how it responds, because it's there to pull you back, whatever this individual is. And you need strength. You need to accept the truth and make progress. I don't know if I said one last card, but I think we're at a good place here. Ace of Wands, a new beginning. Every transition is a new beginning. Obviously, whatever this connection is, we're emotionally attached. It's charged in every spectrum of the fucking color world. I'm getting angry for you, but at the same token, uh, there's going to be sadness, there's going to be anger, there's going to be a bit of freedom, but the pool of the emotion of the connection that's lost is going to feel detrimental. We have to accept the truth of what was actually taking place, even if we're guilty as well in playing a part in that, by working out of a wound or putting ourselves in this position or staying to experience this, to satisfy this wound, whatever was taking place, and also the individual. But we have to come out of victimhood at once. The oppressor or the enemy is down here, and they are playing the victim card and always will. You can't have two victims in a story. You can, but someone has to actually be the victim, but not view themselves that way. They have to take that power, their empowerment, and get out. And the external is going to push back, and we're going to want to validate ourselves. But remember, it's all they want is engagement. Get control of that wound, your self-image, who you are. But only you know who you are. You know the truth of what took place. And you have to be okay with that. And not allow the external to play these games. And just know everything's going to be better. I'm going to leave this here. If this resonated, feel free to like, comment, share, or subscribe. And I will talk to you all later.